constituency headquarters.
Okay, thank you.
There is also one more general observer, 𝗍𝗶𝗃 Jatt. So this sir is looking after Escota constituency. So micro observers, all of you, you are working and you will be reporting to the observer. So any information, anything you have or any concern, you can report to us, but you also have to report to the general observer. And micro observers who is doing for the first time, like people who have not done any, not many of you, I think. So the experienced micro observers are very few. So see, micro observer duty is basically on poll day, there are some polling stations which are classified as critical polling stations. So in view of law and order or in view of previous history of the polling station, we classify certain polling stations as critical polling stations. So each and every constituency, there is a chance of 50-60 polling stations being classified as critical polling station. So micro observers are appointed to observe poll in the critical polling station to ensure that the polling party or the agents or other officials or even voters, everybody has confidence. It is part of a confidence building measure that in such locations also poll sariga jaragadani we are election commission has put extra supervision. That is the message we are trying to convey. So apart from you, all the critical polling stations have webcasting both inside and outside key events, and then micro observer is also there to observe training with the presentation. We also have some videos. You will not be doing anything in the poll process. So there is a separate team, there is a presiding officer, there is an assistant presiding officer, then there are 4 other polling officials. So 1+5, that is the polling party. So 1+5 polling party, they will take all the steps and whatever is being shown here, they will be doing. But as micro observer, you have to observe what is happening and see whether it is as per what you have been asked. Whatever he does will be final. If you think it is not correct, it is not as per the manual, etc., you can discuss, you can raise the objection to the RO or PEO. His report has about 20-30 columns. It is a simple one-page format.
Micro observers to the great Indian in the election process to carry out in a fair and free enlightened with the entire election process and process in the micro level unit, that is in the polling stations. Here regarding the poll process, so let us go into details. You are not supposed to post in all the polling stations. Some of the polling stations are the administrative mechanism. We have to take much officers appointed by the Election Commission of India to work assess the preparedness for the poll at the polling station. While going to mock poll procedure, this is a very important event in the polling station on the day of poll. Without mock poll, poll should not be conducted. Without mock poll, the regular poll, the actual poll should not be conducted.
The presentation which has been made here is fairly detailed, and it not only gives you an idea about the entire election process and the things to be done by the micro observer, but also by the presiding officer, by the polling party. Everything is covered in this presentation. So please ensure you take a copy of the presentation in soft format. I'll request the nodal officer to please share through link. Maybe in the YouTube videos, this PPT could also be uploaded, or separately it could be shared with you. Please go through the presentation so that when you come for the second round of training, you should be, whatever doubts are there should be clarified during the second round. Secondly, please ensure that you are able to reach your polling station in time. So as I think the mandatory requirement is at least 90 minutes before the start of the actual poll. But advisable is you reach one day in advance with the polling party themselves. In any case, you have to come to the dispatch center where the material is getting distributed, where the polling party will be coming, so that we know that you have reported for the duty. on the poll day, please make sure that whatever guidelines are prescribed with regard to secrecy of ballot, with regard to the entry, identification of the voters, and all the statutory provisions which have been explained in the PPT are followed properly. Fourth, if you feel there is any deviation happening from the procedure prescribed by the Election Commission, then please bring it to the notice of the observer. So we have 3 observers, one for S quota. I am looking after 3 assembly segments, and our colleague is looking after another 4 assembly segments. So once you know what is your assembly segment, what is the polling station allotted to you, then obviously we'll be in touch over WhatsApp. If there is anything urgent, you can directly call. Otherwise, you can also be in touch over WhatsApp group. So there are some 18 columns which have already been explained in the PPT. Fill up the report properly. Your report is going to be crucial at the time of scrutiny, which happens on the next day of the poll at 11 o'clock. So if there is any specific polling booth where there is some issue, which may require a re-poll to be conducted, in such cases your report matters a lot. So please ensure that your report is filled up properly. If you have any doubt with regard to any of the columns in the report also, you can again ask in the next round of training, and the nodal officer has already shared his number. You can even check up with him if you have any doubts.
Issues they may arise. Only 2 things have to be borne in mind. You are being posted in the polling booths which are having criticality. Why? That's why you are in every polling booth does not have a micro observer. You are being assigned a responsibility of a polling booth which we apprehend may result in some of the issues getting raised. So you should be well aware of what are the common issues which get raised during such criticality. 2 of the aspects need to be monitored first. We have posted those polling stations where we hope that there may be intimidation of voters. In case that happens, we have the procedures listed out to prevent. You can go out of the polling booth to see whether somebody is canvassing wrongly or somebody is preventing voters to come into the booth. There can be a situation when less number of voters are coming to the booth. Then comes your role as a micro observer. Why voters are not coming to the booth? Whether somebody is campaigning, whether some intimidation is happening, then you can ask the police person deployed to ensure that voters are not intimidated. That can be the primary responsibility of micro observer. Second good responsibility is to know what presiding officer and what polling officer need to be doing to ensure transparent voting process. This whole presentation was regarding transparent procedure for casting the votes, maintaining secrecy, or face a situation when the special scenario can arise. So you were given all the details. The second good job done by you could be ensuring that the election process is transparent and a fair conduct of vote is observed within the polling booth. So 2 things. One, intimidation of voters, they have represented. Second, transparency of the process. This is all procedure explained for achieving this goal. And we will be for any of the re-poll to be ordered. In case there is a delay of polling happening on a particular polling booth. Suppose that polling is halted for more than 30 minutes. So you have to bring it to our notice. In case you see that voting for some reason, a tender vote has been observed or somebody wants to test the vote. So that situation may cause some delay in the voting process. So you have to immediately report on the group or individually phone to the concerned observer to take note of it so that we can correct your measures and come to your rescue and give you guidance accordingly. Again, with this note at the last, I would say you are not going to do the election. You are only there to observe it. But for observing, you must know what need to be observed. You cannot be just going to the polling booth and observing. You must know what situation has to be dealt out, and that report has to be written in your remarks wherever you require. Thank you very much. We hope to see you soon, and we are there to guide you and support you, but you are there to guide the polling party and the presiding officer and help him in case required to be an assistant presiding officer, as Madam Collector was saying, that you can be required to do some role in case the situation so arises. But for that matter, you should know how the procedure is being conducted. Thank you very much.